Welcome back to Totally Abstracted. I'm Michelle, an abstract landscape painter, and it's great to be here with you. As I mentioned last week, season 1 of the podcast was largely the why of painting, the emotional landscapes we carry inside us, the personal mythology that keeps us returning to the easel, even when the work feels impossible, and even when we're not sure anyone's looking. I talked about meaning, purpose, and the courage it takes to make art that matters to you. But this season, well, we're effectively rolling up our sleeves. We're getting paint under our fingernails again. I'm calling it the Expressive Artist Toolkit season. A season devoted to the how, the painting tools, unexpected materials, and essential mindsets that don't just change our paintings, they change us. Because here's what I've learned. The right tool at the right moment doesn't just help you make better art, it helps you become a braver artist. So today I'm exploring something I call the power of the catalyst, when a single tool completely transforms not just your technique, but your entire relationship with your work. For me, that catalyst was a humble silicone wedge, the catalyst wedge. And if you watch any of my videos on YouTube, you'll see I always use it. Before I discovered the catalyst wedge, like most of us, my painting practice revolved around brushes. Reliable brushes, comfortable brushes, and if I'm being honest, safe brushes. My work was careful, contained, and I must say a little timid. But the first time I used the catalyst wedge and dragged it firmly across the surface, watching all the colour slip and slide and merge in ways that I could influence but not really fully control, something fundamental shifted in me. It wasn't just a new mark-making technique, it was a revelation. Suddenly painting for me wasn't about carefully filling in predetermined shapes or staying inside invisible lines I'd drawn for myself. It became about movement, energy and discovery. The catalyst wedge demanded I work faster, looser and with more conviction. It got me outside of my head when painting in a way nothing had before. That's the strange alchemy of tools. They can unlock parts of yourself you didn't even know were locked away. The catalyst wedge for me became a permission slip to loosen my grip on control, on perfection, on all those stories I'd been telling myself about what my painting should look like. And here's what fascinates me most. The real power of a catalyst tool, and that can be any tool that creates this shift in your practice. Well, that power isn't just in the physical marks it makes on your surface. It's in the mindset it invites you to inhabit. For me, the catalyst wedge asks me to let go, to trust that something beautiful, maybe something more beautiful than what I planned, might emerge from apparent chaos. It changed my entire rhythm. I stopped painting with just my wrist and started painting with my whole arm, my shoulder, my core. I started responding to what was happening in real time instead of executing some predetermined plan. And that physical freedom translated directly into emotional freedom. It's very difficult to stay tight and anxious and self-critical when I'm sweeping a catalyst wedge through wet paint, watching colours collide and they create unexpected poetry. My body knows something my usually over-anxious mind doesn't, that play is productive, mess is meaningful, and accidents are invitations. So when I talk about tools this season, I want you to think bigger than objects. I do mean physical things you hold, brayers, palette knives, sponges, squeegees, whatever you're using. But I also mean anything that acts as a bridge between control and surrender. Anything that helps you step from the place where you're in charge of everything to the place where you're in conversation with your materials and enjoying the unpredictability. At some point in their journey, every artist meets their catalyst tool. That one tool, medium or material, that doesn't just add to the repertoire, it pulls them into a new phase of their creative life. It marks a before and after in their story. Maybe it's discovering the feel of oils after years of quick drying acrylics. Maybe it's switching from rectangles to square panels and finding your composition suddenly breathe differently. And maybe it's the day you stop overthinking and start working on the floor instead of the easel. And sometimes the catalyst isn't even physical. It's a process shift, a conceptual breakthrough. That moment when you stop asking the exhausting question of what should I paint and start asking the far more liberating one of what happens if I try this. It might be giving yourself permission to work in a series, to use only 3 colours for an entire month, to paint over all your failures, if you call them that, instead of hiding them, to work without a plan, or to work only with a plan and then deliberately break it. These moments of meeting your catalyst, well, really they're small revolutions, and small revolutions change everything. So that's what this entire season is about, recognising those pivot points and understanding that tools aren't just tools. They are keys that unlock doors you didn't even know your studio had. So here's my challenge for you this week. Notice your own catalysts. What tools change, not just your marks, but the way you feel when you paint? Which ones make you forget to check the clock, forget to judge yourself, forget everything except the conversation happening between your hands and your materials? Pay attention to the moments when you lose yourself in the best possible way. Because sometimes a new tool isn't just a change in technique. It's an invitation to see yourself differently as an artist, to meet a version of yourself that's bolder, freer, more playful than the one who showed up this morning. That version of you, that's the one that's waiting. Until next time, keep experimenting, keep trusting your process and finding joy in the beautiful, unpredictable play of paint and possibility. And of course, as always, keep things totally abstracted.